Our next speaker is a very special guest who has come here to be with us from Northern Ireland, and that's Joe Scott from Millisle Adopted Spotters. And we're also delighted to have Nicola Murray here from Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful, who are our sister organisation in Northern Ireland, who operate nearly all of the programmes that we do down here. We've got a great working relationship with Tidy Northern Ireland, and we think it's really important. Obviously, there are no boundaries when it comes to marine litter, so we work very closely with them on this issue, on our programme, and we also share a sponsor in Coca-Cola who sponsor Clean Coast as an all-island initiative. So I'd really like to welcome Jo up to the stage to give her talk, and I'm really interested to hear about, I suppose, cleaning inland a little bit. Okay, thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and it really is a privilege to be here today. And as has already been said, I'm your visitor from the north. I'm a member of Millisle's Adopted Spotters, and we're quite a relatively new group. I personally have only been involved in the Clean Coast scenario over about the past 5 years, and that's formally been involved. Prior to that, I've always been interested in keeping my local area clean and tidy. But formally, I became involved about 5 years ago when I got involved with a group that I started up called Millisle Youth Forum. And it's a group of young people. We're working on a loop. This particular presentation is working on a loop. So what I'm saying might not match what's on the screen, but sure, don't worry about that, because that just makes for an interesting presentation, I hope. It's focusing on the people, as you'll see, but as I say, it is such a privilege to be here, and particularly among so many very hard-working volunteers who are selflessly dedicating themselves to keeping their villages and their towns and their cities and their coastlines and their waterways and all of their areas absolutely clean of any litter that is lying around. And you put in so much time and effort as well to recycling, which is absolutely fantastic. And it's great to hear about all of the initiatives that we've heard about so far, all about making this place a better place. As I said, I'm a relative newbie. And how did I become involved? Well, as I say, it was around because of the instigation of a youth group that I started up. I live in a little village on the Ards Peninsula, which is, if you look at Northern Ireland, and a slide will come up at some point, where you'll see almost like a hook on the Ards Peninsula, and we're about halfway down that hook. We're about 3,500 people in total, and on one side of our main street, there's the Irish Sea, giving us our coastline, and on the other side of our main street is housing developments, caravan sites, and rural agricultural land. So we're quite a mix of different types of people and businesses and organisations within our small area. But we are very proactive, and we're very keen to try and keep our village clean. Our village has actually doubled in about the past 15 years. In fact, more than doubled when we were primarily made up of rural land and some fishing. But now, because of the housing developments that have taken place there, we have really, really grown. And always not in keeping with the amenities and the facilities that the area actually needs. And because we're a seaside town, that in itself brings its problems in the summer months, because it really does help to generate an enormous amount of litter and lying about the place, and the sorts of things that we've seen on our screens already today, like fridges and tyres and mattresses and washing machines and all of that sort of stuff is generally the sorts of things that we are picking up every time we do a clean up in our area. We have a lovely beach. Our beach actually is the first beach that you come across when you hit this area called the Ards Peninsula. So we like to think of ourselves as the gateway to the Ards Peninsula, and we're very keen in trying to keep that beach tidy and show ourselves off, so that when people travel further on around the Ards Peninsula, they actually are coming across lots of nice wee tiny litter-free villages along the way. We're a split village, just to tell you a bit about that. In that half of the village would be seen as relatively affluent, and with people who are in jobs and who are working and are earning. And the other half of the village would actually be quite low in the deprivation score. So we really are a village of haves and have-nots to some extent. But the great thing about our village is that we try to all work together, and we do work together. Just see the map there. If you actually look down, you'll probably see Millisle just halfway along on the hook. Do you see where I was talking about the hook? So that's where we are, and we follow right the way along with the Irish Sea on the left-hand side. And that's where we sit in the scheme of things. Litter, as you see, lots of rubbish, which you have all talked about already. But we're a funny bunch, as I say, because we're made up of a whole range of different types of people. Farmers, agricultural farmers, people who have grown up in the village all their lives, lots of, do you use the term down here, blow-ins, people who have moved into the village and who have come from the cities and the towns. They've moved in, and there's the wee bit of sort of the issues that go on around that. But the good thing is, as I say, we all are very, very keen in keeping our village on the map and doing well for within our village. In terms of the sorts of things that we do, well, we started off in the Youth Forum, along with our community association, just doing the annual beach clean. And then every now and again, the youth of the village were given tasks to do, and we went in actually to the village and started to clean up the streets within the village as well, and some of the hot spots within the village, which would be renowned for being dumping grounds. This is the sorts of things that we have done, but more recently through our engagement with what was Tidy NI, now Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful, we have become what's known as Millisle Adopt a Spotters. And Adopt a Spot is an initiative that was organised by Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful, and we have embraced that. And what we've done to embrace that is we've brought together various organisations from within our village. First time ever, we've formally brought together organisations to adopt a spot, and we've each adopted various spots along our beachfront with a view to and a commitment to cleaning those particular spots 4 times a year. So that's what Adopt a Spot is all about. It's giving that commitment to clean 4 times a year these particular areas, and it's our whole beach area that we do. So we're now about to embark on our fourth beach clean under Adopt a Spotters, but we do other cleanups in between as well, because we do regularly get out there and get involved in things. In terms of our main street itself, I mean, if I could just run through the sorts of things shops and things that we have within our village. I mean, for example, we have a Spar, we have a Mace, we have a hairdressers, we have a chemist, we have 2 pubs, we have a chippy, we have a Chinese, we have a pizza takeaway. We like our food in Millisle, and all of these in themselves generate obstacles for us in terms of littering and how we go about sorting out that littering and keeping the place clean. But we do get our traders involved in the litter campaign as well, and they help us to actively promote the campaigns that we're having in keeping the village tidy. So what you see a lot of our volunteers in the pictures that we have on the screen at the minute and before. Lots of young volunteers. You'll see also we engage with, you've talked about councils and things like that. We involve our MLAs from the Big House in the Hills, Stormont, as we call it, and our MLAs actually come down and will actively get involved with us in our litter cleanups. Our councillors will come down and get involved with us in our litter cleanups, and there really is a great camaraderie that comes around from that. We feel it's extremely important to involve the young people, and now they have embraced it. Now they take forward their the messages that they hear when we're doing our litter cleans, and particularly when we have the likes of Coca-Cola down, etc., where we're talking about recycling your tins and your cans and things like that. So it all gives very, very positive messages, and we do know, because we hear it from the parents when they feed back to us, that they are being pestered to go out, to make sure that they're doing all the things that they're supposed to do. So, in terms of the adopted spots, 4 times a year we're out there. We're doing the work, and we're keeping things clean and tidy. But we do have other groups. For example, I can't leave here today without telling you about our MAD group, MMAD, which is Millisle Mums Against Doggy Doo. And this is a team of very proactive mums who, when they're walking their children to school in the morning, have their doggy bags where they're picking up the dog poop on the way to school and on the way back. And they do this every day. And this is their contribution to helping to keep Millisle clean. They're our most vocal group because I'm sure, as you all appreciate, that is quite a significant problem that we do have in all of our towns and our villages and our shorelines. And they get particularly annoyed when they go along the hedgerows and they see the doggy bags actually hanging on the hedgerows, and they can't understand why someone would go to the bother of picking it up, putting it in a bag and then hanging it on a hedgerow instead of taking it home. That's the sorts of things that are happening across the whole of Ireland, not just in Millisle, and it is it's a particular issue that we are trying to address as we go along. And in fact, as part of a reward scheme, Nicola has just given our MAD mums a proper doggy pooper scooper, which I'll be taking back to them when I leave here today. So very proactive, as I say, and very keen to keep things going. We're not in it for reward in any way. No one is, none of you are, and we know that. But we are actually very proud of the fact that in terms of the Tidy NI / Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful campaigns, we have won 3 awards. The most recent just being this year when our Adopt a Spotters have won the Best Group Award for the work that we are doing within our village and in terms of getting the messages out there. So we're very proud to be part of this whole Clean Coast campaign. We're very proactive. We always feel we should be doing more, but as has been said before, you can only do what you can do, even if it's just for 2 minutes. So we keep on doing those sorts of things, and I just want to say thank you to you all, and well done. Thank you.